Hey there, and welcome back, Horizon fans. It is spring in Forza land in Horizonville in the Great Britain. It is spring. And what better time than the spring to test a couple of old rally cars against each other? Both from 1992. Both would have competed, well, on the game they're both 1992 models. Both would have been cars that competed in Group A rally back in the day. I'm not entirely sure if they ever competed against each other. I think they did. But I didn't follow rally back in the 90s. I would have been just a child back then. Didn't follow rally back then. The best I can tell from a quick search is that these two cars would have probably competed against each other at least around 93 they would have. And without further ado, it is the 92 Toyota Celica GT4 as promised. You see it on your screen right there in front of you. And its competitor, who has yet to jump in and drive yet, is going to be the 1992 Ford Escort Cosworth. Got to learn how to talk if you want to race, right? If you want to record. So these are, what better time than the spring? The dirt roads are muddy, the rain is falling, even the pavement's a little bit slicker. What better time than the spring to test out a couple of X-Rally cars, right? Of course, neither of these were real rally cars. These are the street versions of those rally cars. And I don't believe these would have been direct sales competitors as far as coming off the dealership floor. I don't believe these would have been sales competitors, but they definitely would have been on-track competitors, which is close enough for me to put them together in my stock-for-stock video. The reason you see the Celica by itself right now is it is the favorite. It is favored to win. It's my favorite. It's a 1992 Toyota Celica GT4 RC. And I can only presume RC stood for rally car because, baby, she was a rally car. She checks in at 232 horsepower. She's a little bit heavy at just over 3,200 pounds. Of course, she's all-wheel drive. 60% of her weight is in the front, and she's a Class C 577. Now, it is favored to win, A, because I prefer the Toyota. I'm not a major Ford fan. In fact, I don't like Ford very much at all. So, not only do I favor it to win because I don't want the Ford to win, I also favor it to win because thanks for the barn find, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for interrupting. Thanks for interrupting, jerk. I also favor it to win not only because it's my preferred car, but because it is 11 performance index points above the Escort in stock form. This car comes in at a C577, and your Escort, who should be leaving his driveway any second, probably about now, he checks in at a C566, 11 points lower. Now, where the Celica had 232 horsepower, the Escort only has 224, but the Escort is a full 400 pounds lighter than the Celica at 2,811 pounds with a slightly better ratio of weight with only 56% on the front tires versus the Celica 60%. Of course, both cars being all-wheel drive, both cars being X-Rally cars, or, you know, street versions of cars that were designed to run in the rally. So we're going to run them. I really was tempted to only run these two cars strictly like a series of dirt races because that's what they were designed for, you know? But in keeping to true form on our stock-for-stock series, I went ahead and I'm only running these two cars the normal 3 races. They're going to run a road race, which they're both on their way to right now. They're going to run a drag race, and they're going to run a dirt event, just like every other stock-for-stock has so far. So it looks like we only have a couple more miles left. And after that couple more miles, we're going to see how they perform in the first event. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this series so far, the stock for stock. You know, let me know what you think so far. Let me know if you have any cars that you want to see compared to one another. You know, don't forget to subscribe. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to subscribe. Definitely click that like button so other people can see the video. You know, and share it out. Share it with your friends. If your friends like Forza, share it with them. If your friends like Gran Turismo, share it with them anyway. Maybe we can pick up a couple of new Forza fans instead. By all means, share. Get the videos out for me. You know, you guys help me get the videos out, and it encourages me to make more videos. So don't forget to share and like the videos for me. The Escort is trying to make up for lost ground here because he did come out of the garage late. So he's trying to make up for lost time and make his way on up to the track in a hurry. Alright, the Celica's pulling up to the track now, and the Escort is just up the street. So here we go, boys. Let's see what happens. Alright, here they are, ready to go, and they are off. Alright, right off the bat, they've both gotten passed by a competitor that started behind, so but the Celica is definitely having a little trouble with traffic right here. And the Escort has pulled off to just a little bit of a lead already. Surprisingly, because the Toyota was, and still is, I mean, the race is still young, but the Toyota's definitely having a little trouble fighting with traffic, and the Escort really isn't fighting anybody yet. Boy, the Escort is definitely making quick work of the traffic. He is not having any trouble at all getting around people. And he seems to be increasing his lead by a fairly good margin over the Toyota. Well, this is not looking good for the Celica guys, not yet anyway. There you go, the Escort has taken down another driver. He's in 4th now, the Celica still in 8th. 7th. The Celica finally overtook one and is now up to 7th. Oh, man, that was not. Did you see that? The Celica caught the right retaining wall at the little narrow down for the start-finish line, and it bounced off of it and took it straight into the car on the left. That is not going to help the Celica's time at all. At this point, the Escort has a incredible lead over the Celica and is actually battling for the lead on his race. Or rather, he's chasing down his leader. He's not battling yet, I guess. They both hit a checkpoint at the same time. It just wasn't the same checkpoint. That is not good for the Celica. That the Focus, the Escort, was a full checkpoint ahead at a small section, of course. And there goes the Escort. He has taken the lead, and he has got clear road ahead of him now, and it's only lap 2. Celica is now also taking the lead, but he has got a lot of ground if he wants to try to make up the difference. I don't think he can. There's almost a 3-second difference between these two cars right now at the start-finish line. Now they both have a clear lap. They both have no traffic ahead of them. Let's just see what they can do with both cars. The Celica slowed down way too much on that turn. But with both cars having a clean track in front of them, let's just see who turns out the better lap. Well, Celica's pushing hard to try to make up ground, but the Escort has just got too much of a lead on him. And that Escort is not having any trouble with this track at all. And it is definitive. The Escort won. Alright guys, so in that first race, the Escort came out on top by a little under 2 seconds for the race. The Celica ran a 4:34.641, and the Escort ran a 4:32.673. So almost exactly 2 seconds faster for the race. Now the Celica had a lot more trouble with traffic early on in the race than the Celica did, or the Celica had more trouble than the Escort rather. So you could account the traffic issues as being the Celica's big slowdown that made him lose by 2 seconds. But the best lap for each car, the Celica ran a 125.8, the Escort ran a 125.4. A tenth of a second, 4/10 of a second. The Escort beat the Celica by 4/10 of a second, even on its best lap. And they both had a clear third lap, so I have to definitively give round one to the Escort. He won both in lap time and race time. So they are on their way to the drag strip now. But, plot twist, if you want to call it that, they're not going to one of the normal drag strips. They're not going to the airfield, which is one of my favorite drag strips because it's long, but it's not stupid long like the highway is. It's not like a top speed run, basically. And they're not going to the short drag strip at the festival grounds, being as what these two cars are and their history, you know, their rally history. They're designed for dirt. These two cars are going to duke it out on the beach drag strip. So let's give these two a few moments to make it to their destination, and we'll see who takes round two. Well, on the highway, the Celica seems to have a pretty clear advantage over the Escort. Not, well, I don't know, they're pretty even. It's not a dramatic advantage. Yeah, there we go. It's getting there now, about 5 mile an hour difference. So the Celica does have an advantage on the highway over the Escort. Of course, the Celica missed his turn. And the Escort didn't do much better himself. Well, The Escort's got the speed advantage here, though. By almost 10 miles an hour, it's got the speed advantage on this road, so I don't know. Maybe the Celica wasn't faster after all. It breaks my heart that the Toyota lost the first race, though, because I was really rooting heavily for the Celica to win. I really was. I'm going to say, not a Ford fan at all, but I am going to give every car, whether there's a Ford involved or not, I am going to give every car a legitimate, fair, balls to the wall, whatever I can do for them run. I'm not going to, I mean, as you can see, the Ford won the first race, so I'm not going to backpedal just because I want a certain car to win. I'm going to give them an honest run. Looks like the Escort's going to make it down to the beach first, too. It's not looking good for the Toyota thus far. Even on their way to the second race, the Escort seems to have the advantage pretty much the whole way. Alright guys, here we are. We are at the beach drag strip, so this ought to be less than a minute of, let's see who wins. Less than a minute of fighting it out. Alright guys, here we go for round two. May the best car win. Go! Alright, they're off to a pretty even start so far. Into third gear, they're both pretty even. It almost feels like the Celica's got a little bit on him. Yeah, the Celica's starting to get a little bit of a lead now. Alright guys, the drag race was definitely in the favor of the Celica. On the beach drag strip, they started off very, very even. All the way up into third gear and into fourth gear, they were extremely even. But as they wound through fourth gear, the Celica started to gain a little bit of advantage. I don't know if the Celica had a little better gearing, or if it's the Celica's, well, it's heavier. So I don't know if the extra few horsepower made a difference, because it's also 400 pounds heavier. But at any rate, guys, at the beach drag strip, the Celica bested the Escort with a 28.629 to the Celica, to the Escort rather, of a 29.129. So exactly a half a second in favor of the Escort. I'm sorry, in favor of the Celica. A half a second in favor of the Celica, not the Escort. He didn't win that one. We ain't giving him a freebie now. Come on. Alright, so they're going to go to their third and final race. They are going to run the Lakehurst Forest Trail. That's where they're headed right now. That is, I believe that's a point-to-point dirt race. I don't believe that's a circuit. So they're going to head down to the Lakehurst Forest Trail, and Right now, we have a 1-1 tie. This is now officially the first stock for stock series that I've done that wasn't just a complete shutout. One car just win all 3 events, wipe out the other car, end of story. This is the first one I've done that it's actually going to come down to the 3rd race. Winner take all basically in this 3rd race. So here's hoping that the Celica can pull this off. They're both going to be in the environment they were designed for, though. The first race, yeah, it was a road race, and they both did pretty decent on it for 200 horsepower cars. I mean, what do you expect from cars that have less than 250 horsepower? They both did pretty decent on the road race, but that's not what these cars were designed for. These cars were designed to tear ass down a gravel road, and that's what they're both about to do. As soon as we get through this stupid little speed zone, we'll get a look at the GPS and see how far out we are. Looks like we are right at 2 miles from our destination. So in 2 miles, we're going to start the 3rd and final round for these two. Well, that guy didn't take the turn very well, now did he, on the Celica side? Well, Escort's really running out on this road. Look at that. He's up to 130. Oh, here goes the Celica now, though. He's up to it. Almost 140 for the Escort and a little over 148, 150 for the Celica. Not bad for stock. This is a bone stock car, guys. That is not bad. Of course, at 150, he didn't make the turn very well. He didn't slow down in time for the turn because he was doing 150. Not bad, though. I'm actually pretty impressed that in stock form this car could run 150. And here we are, guys. We have arrived at Lakehurst Forest Trail. So may the best car win. Winner take all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time, and they are off. A little bit of trouble with traffic for the Celica again, and the Escort is already off to just a tiniest little bit of lead. The Escort definitely took that first turn better. And again, the Escort is picking through the traffic much easier than the Celica. Well, there goes the Celica. He's getting a good run on it now. Man, this is not looking good, guys. The Escort's got him by almost a second now. Or, dang, probably getting close to 2 seconds. Yeah, that was at least a full 2 seconds to that checkpoint. But now they seem to be on a wide open straightaway where the Celica might make up some ground. I mean, both cars are performing very well, but it's just looking like that Escort's got way more advantage than I would have ever imagined over the Celica. That's about a 3-second lead now. That is not good at 90+% and a 3-second lead. The Celica's done. I don't think there's nothing he can do if the Escort don't. Well, guys, there you have it. You see in the middle of your screen, in all his glory, the champion of this event, the winner of 2 out of 3 events, Mr. 92 Ford Escort Cosworth Edition. On that event, the Celica ran a 2 minutes and 43.2 seconds, and the Escort just murdered him by 2.5 seconds with a 2 minutes and 40.694, basically 40.7. So basically about a 2.5 second advantage. I mean, there's no denying it. On the road race, the Cosworth beat the Celica by 2 full seconds. On the dirt race, beat it by 2.5 seconds. And in the drag race, the Celica won by 0.5 second. So there you go. Final thoughts, guys. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me your final thoughts in the comments as well. My final thoughts are, I'm disappointed, I guess, because I was rooting for the Celica. I'm a little surprised because this is the first out of my stock-for-stock events that the car with the higher performance index lost the event. It seems to be repeatedly that the car with more horsepower keeps losing, but this is the first time the car with a better PI lost. The best I can think of is because of the extra horsepower, because the Celica, it's only 8 horsepower, but I mean, when you're in the 200s, 8 horsepower is a pretty decent margin. Well, that was cool. Throw fence at me, dude. You know, when you're only in the 200s, 8 horsepower is a pretty decent margin. You know, it's a pretty decent difference. So it's an 8 horsepower advantage, which probably explains why the Celica beat the Escort in the drag race. The 8 extra horsepower probably gave him the advantage in the drag race. I mean, yeah, he weighs 400 extra pounds, but the 8 horsepower and possibly the gearing difference, because there's also going to be a, you know, they're probably running different gear ratios. I can't imagine Ford and Toyota were like, hey, gear ratios are you running? I want to run the same shit. So, you know, the gearing difference is going to be probably advantageous as well on that drag strip, on the drag race. But I'm thinking the 400-pound difference in weight is the biggest thing that played to the Escort's advantage in all the races where you had to take a turn. The only other thing is the Escort did seem, driving it in stock form, the Escort does seem to have a tighter suspension. And the tighter suspension is going to help the car handle better. I didn't pay no attention as to which car has wider tires, you know, more traction on the ground, more contact patch. I'm going to assume that they have about the same size tires as far as width. They're probably both somewhere around a 205 section width on their tires. They could be, you know, it could be a 225 or something, but I'm just guessing. I'm going to say they're probably both somewhere in the 205 to 215 section width on their rubber. But yeah, I mean, the suspension, hey, that was stupid of me. I'm going to leave the scene of the accident now. I think the tighter suspension on the Escort and the 400 pounds lighter definitely played to his advantage on, you know, actual tracks where you had to do actual turns. But there you go. You have your winner right here. He's headed to the garage in all his glory. The Celica is hanging his head somewhere because he put up a good fight, but, I mean, he did get beat pretty bad. These were not close finishes like it was between the 2000 GT and the Nissan Fairlady in the previous matchup. So yeah, here's your winner, guys. Tell me in the comments below what cars you want to see matched up next or in the future. You know, the Escort here, he can go up against somebody else, or the Celica can go up against somebody else. So let me know what cars you want to see matched up in the future, whether it's, if you want to see these two do a rematch. I'm thinking maybe, what is it called? The Goliath or whatever? Not the Goliath. The dirt track, the big dirt track, the long dirt race. Like, I'm thinking maybe I could match these two up a second time on that long dirt race and let them duke it out one last time, kind of a grudge match. Tell me if it's something you'd like to see. If you'd like to see these same two cars duke it out on a grudge match on a, I cannot think of what it's called, but the long, you know, the long dirt race. It's like 10 miles long. But that's it, guys. We're here at the garage. The winner is celebrating. The loser is not. Don't forget to subscribe. I said it once. I said it 100 times. Don't forget to click the like button, the share button, the notification bell, and tell your friends about the channel, because I would love to have more reasons to keep making videos for you guys. Just tell me in the comments what you thought, guys. I believe that's going to be it, so I will end this video here momentarily, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out.